One. Welcome back. Michael LaFido here, author of the book Luxury Listing Specialist, and I'm the founder of the Luxury Listing Specialist designation. Welcome back to another episode of the Luxury Lunch and Learn, or perhaps you're listening on our podcast. Again, check that out. It's on Spotify, Stitcher, Luxury Listing Specialist. We're on, I believe, episode at least 112 at the time of this recording. I'm really excited about today's guest. Goes back some years back. Many of you know I still am a licensed agent with an independent here in Chicagoland, but I was with a Christie's affiliate some years ago before they got acquired by another company here in Chicago. And so I was going to the Christie's conferences. There's one here in Chicago, one in DC, one out in Cali. And today's guest is a licensed agent with the Christie's affiliate in Jackson Hole, but I'm bringing her on to talk a little real estate, but also we're primarily going to be talking about an exciting new platform, if you will, and she'll describe it better than I can. So with that being said, I want to welcome Julie. Julie, great to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks so much, Michael. It's a pleasure to be on the show, and congratulations on all of your success, and certainly thank you for being such a thought leader within the real estate industry. We appreciate all that you're doing.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I love what I'm doing. I'm passionate, and I know you are as well. We've talked offline and love what you're doing as well, being creative, bringing top luxury agents together. And so, again, pronounce your last name for me. I want to make sure I don't butcher it.
Faupel.
Julie Faupel, and you're out of Jackson Hole. And you're...
I am, yes. So my husband and I are principals in Jackson Hole Real Estate Associates, which, as you mentioned, is a Christie's affiliate. And then we also have a selling team, Graham Faupel Mendenhall. So, we have been active in the real estate industry here for all 18 years that we've been residents in Jackson. So it's a very special place, and we feel so privileged to be able to help people get to know it a little bit better.
Yeah, and I was just telling you, we went on a Griswold vacation, and we didn't go to Jackson Hole, but there's an old adage, right, that the millionaires are getting replaced by billionaires in Jackson Hole. I'm not sure how true that is, but I do know there's a lot of money there. There's a lot of luxury real estate there. And real quick, tell me about how COVID has affected real estate in your market. Is there a shortage of supply, and if stuff hits the market, it's moving?
It is, Michael. It's amazing because we have, through quarantine and kind of through this global pandemic, we have, seen people that, the moment that quarantine was lifted, they have come to Jackson, they've brought their families here, they've come on vacation here, they're looking to become residents here. And so really what has happened through this entire kind of process and situation through 2020 is that it's exacerbated a lot of what was already some pretty pent-up demand because of the tax situation in Wyoming and the fact that we don't have any state income tax. We have a very wealth-friendly environment here. We were already seeing people that were kind of that flight to a financial safe haven, and now that psychology has actually shifted, and it's even more so a psychological safe haven, a place where people can have a little bit more elbow room, where they can have a little bit more peace of mind in a smaller community, but still feel very connected to things like the arts and philanthropy. And we're very, very blessed in that we've got an incredible diversity of services and resources here in Jackson. And so, we've seen a lot of people moving from, more urban environments to places like this. And I think that that's something that we're seeing across the country, and it's not unique to Jackson, but it certainly is creating quite a shortage in terms of inventory and a very, very robust real estate market for us.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same when I'm talking to other guests or, going, I went to a conference yesterday, as I was mentioned to you, felt some form of normalcy. Not putting on your spot, but maybe not in particular order, but if someone were to ask you your feeder markets, where people are migrating from, where are they purchasing from, is there any sort of pattern that you're seeing in Jackson Hole?
Oh, sure. So it's San Francisco, Los Angeles, Seattle from the west. We're seeing Chicago, New York, kind of the Midwest and East, and I think that those markets have always been very strong for us. Atlanta, Dallas, Houston, those markets historically have been strong. We haven't seen quite the influx from those as kind of this year as we have from those other markets that I mentioned previously. But it is a lot of just kind of those more urban centers to the Wild West here.
Okay, well, thank you for that. All right, so one of the main reasons that I had you on today is an exciting new platform technology network. Maybe I'm not doing it justice. You did give me a demo of it, and I was very impressed. And with Realm, and you guys are doing some stuff where you're sponsoring stuff through Inman. So if you're an Inman subscriber watching this or listening to this, perhaps you'll see a nice simple black luxurious logo that says Realm. Talk to me about Realm, what it stands for, the thought process behind it. Whenever somebody starts a company, just like our designation, Julie, when we started ours 4.5 years ago, I felt there was a void, there was a need for additional training and support and tools in the real estate, specifically luxury space. And we hope to fill that, right? And we are filling it. And talk to me a little bit about Realm. Talk to me a little bit about what you guys saw a need and how you are filling that void.
That's great. Well, thank you, Michael. Yeah, it's an exciting time because we looked at the overall luxury industry and the overall real estate, luxury, the profile of a luxury broker, and my background, my entire career has been spent in luxury. So whether it was working in the hotel business and then transitioning into real estate, really understanding the psychology of the luxury consumer, and then those of us that have really made that a lifestyle in terms of our profession and our careers. One of the things that always has made me a little bit crazy is that real estate has operated in such a siloed environment. So, we all have our client list, we all have our spheres of influence, we all have kind of our own individual business models. And, based on that siloed environment, we aren't always able to really provide the best in service or the best collaboration with our colleagues because we're so fearful of sharing information or of compromising our client list, which, is understandable because that is truly our lifeblood as real estate professionals. The last thing you would want to do is have somebody kind of, compromise that or compromise confidential information that we all kind of keep on hand with regard to our relationships. And so as we looked at that and said, how do we do this better? And how do we make sure that we are utilizing our resources and utilizing our colleagues and our various networks, whether that's, through an affiliation or through a franchise, we all belong to all of these different networks and have access to amazing, remarkable professionals and resources. But we seem to be, a little bit too closed. And so we took a look at that and said, okay, is there a way for us to use technology to enable relationships, to enhance relationships, and to do it in a completely encrypted environment where we're not afraid of having our client lists compromised, where we're not afraid of having somebody else come in and, poach a client or, sell our data or anything like that. And, it's amazing what we're seeing in real estate as a whole, with all of these technology providers and everything that's being built. And so when we sat down and we said, okay, so what we're doing truly is a relationship. We want to build something that enhances relationships with technology, but doesn't replace that human contact. And I liken it a lot, Michael, to kind of the guest recognition software that we used to use when I was in the hotel business, that a number of different luxury hotel chains now use, where we could replicate a guest stay wherever they were in the world. So we knew that Mrs. Gotrocks liked apples and not oranges. She likes turn down at 6 p.m. and cold white wine. Well, those are things, again, in real estate, those kind of nuances are the things that make people's experiences better, that, you know, kind of help them to enjoy the environment. If we know what kind of architecture they like, if we know what kind of lifestyle preferences they have, if we know they like to surf or they like to ski, you know, that helps us to refine their overall search and their overall service experience with us as professionals. And so, so we went about building kind of this hybrid between a relationship matching service, kind of like, you know, I mean, like a dating website, and guest recognition software. So now what we have at our fingertips as real estate professionals is we have a wealth of information about our clients that provides us insight into what they like to do during their daily lives, that then helps us to be even better trusted advisors to them as they move to different environments, as they consider, you know, different times in their lives and different types of real estate. We're just being that much more informed and using the technology that's readily available and the information that's publicly available to really enhance that overall experience.
And first off, thank you. Very detailed description. That was very helpful for those that are listening or watching a replay. And so you're kind of merging, you know, the whole hotel, when I say hotel, the information about a client, what they like, the preferences, the experience, along with, you know, intel that you have on that individual, and you're merging that together in a platform. And what does that look like? You know, let's just use me as an example. You know, I'm a luxury agent here in the Chicagoland market. I have a client that is looking for a secondary home in, you know, Jackson Hole or Colorado Springs or, you know, some other part of the world. Is this a platform where I would enter in, you know, information, and then your database would say, hey, there's some properties that are on the platform or agents in these areas that have, for lack of a better term, work with these type of clientele that your platform is vetted, and they either have properties that match or they can find you. Is that kind of what it is?
That's exactly right, Michael. So what happens is, so the individual agents are the ones that subscribe, and so then they upload their client list. It is encrypted, so no one else can see any of your client information. Even the developers can't see it. So it comes across, and then what happens is that client information is enriched through third-party data resources. So Realm goes out and finds other information that's publicly available on your client. So that goes to like social media history, credit card purchase history, anything that's publicly available, enriches that client information, and then creates a lifestyle profile for that individual client. And then the same thing simultaneously is happening with all of your listings. So if you've got a client that's looking for ski property, like you said, or mountain property, and they are interested in, you know, Wyoming, Colorado, and Montana, you know, that's all information that then goes into their lifestyle profile. And then the same thing is happening with all of my listings as a Realm member. All of my listings are being appended, and then also having a lifestyle profile created on those listings. So then what happens is you've got the client information and the listing information being laid over each other, and then being matched and scored based on how closely they align with each other. And then you're getting an alert that says, you know, that your client has a match in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And let's say your client is a wine collector and they like contemporary art and architecture. All of those things then go into kind of creating an overall opportunity score that says, hey, Michael, look, this is actually a very high match for your client, and you might want to connect with Julie because she's got this new listing that could really be something suitable for your client who has an intent to purchase a mountain home. So it's connecting trusted advisor to trusted advisor. So again, there would never be an instance where you're a Realm member and your client is getting a cold call from me. It's actually something where you're so much more informed about the opportunity that exists with my listing that you can call your client and say, hey, client, listen, I've got an amazing opportunity for you. It's contemporary. It's got a wine cellar. It's got all of these things. And the client feels like, wow, you know what? Michael really knows me, and he cares enough about me to understand my lifestyle and to make a very educated recommendation, and ultimately an introduction to me as the listing agent, or we develop a relationship and a referral happens. And those are the ways, especially when you get to the high end, and as better than most, Michael, when you're dealing with people kind of at that high net worth and ultra high net worth level, it really is all about the trusted advisor network that they have around them. That's the way that things transact, not necessarily through a cold call or an ad in a publication.
So that's, fascinating. So, what I hear you also saying is when I upload my client, let's just say, Brett Smith, when I upload Brett Smith and with details on Brett Smith, your system will go grab data, public information, their likes, their interests, their purchase, their, lifestyle choices that perhaps I might not even be aware of. And I might find out more information on this client that I've been working with for a while, that maybe they're confidential, they don't share things, they're private. And now I'm getting all this data on them that helps me. I guess I use this visual all the time, but gives better silver platter service, right?
That's right. No, that's exactly right. I think too, sometimes people don't even consider, as much as we spend time and you're part of a very significant part of somebody's life. Their home is something very personal, and people have a very personal relationship with their properties. But sometimes they don't even think about how, aspects of their lifestyle could impact their home buying preferences, and just overall being able to say, gosh, this is something that, I know that you are somebody that's a fitness fanatic, and I want to talk to you about, the home gym that's in this place, or let me make an introduction to, one of the best trainers in town. I always kind of refer to it like you said, the silver platter service. I'm a little bit more basic, living in Wyoming, but I say, like, we're the camp counselors, and so everybody comes here, and then we've got to make sure that they've got everything that they need in their activities roster and in their resources, and making sure that they're getting associated with the right philanthropies and being connected in the community. And all of those things are generally, we can find out a lot of those via public information, and then kind of hit the ground running with a client when they kind of come and engage in our community.
Yeah, that's awesome. So when did Realm launch? And again, I don't want to put you on the spot if you can't share what I'm about to ask you, but when did Realm launch, and how many agents are on the platform? And talk to me about that. Is it you got to have certain parameters, and I'm sure it's a hefty investment, as it should be, but talk to me about some of those bullet points that you feel comfortable with.
Sure.
Because, I'm sure you got a lot of people's attention.
We do. It's been wonderful, because it has had such an outstanding reception from the industry. And I think part of that, Michael, is the fact that this is the first tool that has actually been informed and built by real estate professionals for our colleagues. And so, when you look at it, a lot of times solutions emerge, and it's all about kind of the solution is introduced to the marketplace. It's incredibly technically sophisticated, and then we all kind of have to retrain ourselves in terms of how we work and how to use it, because historically, real estate professionals, we are great at making friends. We're great community connectors. We're wonderful ambassadors. We're not necessarily the most technically savvy group of people out there. And so I say that speaking totally from personal experience. But so then when we set out building Realm, we said, listen, this has to be something that's really, really easy to use, or people won't engage with it. It needs to be something that's fast and kind of provides an immediate return on investment, so that, we're targeting really the top producing professionals in the world. And so we looked a lot to the developers to build something that was efficient. So at this point, Realm, we kind of debuted at Inman Luxury Connect last year in November. We started onboarding people this March. So just as quarantine was happening, Realm was kind of ready to start bringing on members, and I can tell you there were a couple of weeks, Michael, and this is having started our real estate company during the downturn. So during 2008, 2009 was when our real estate company started. So I was thinking to myself, boy, my timing must be really off.
Yeah.
So as quarantine was happening, Realm was starting to onboard new members, and actually what happened was this virtual community of top professionals has started to emerge. And I think that in hindsight, we'll look at it as something that was really far more of an opportunity than a detractor. We've got about 300 members at this point, and we're forecasting probably 1,000 in a year's time. So when you look at the fact that there are north of 2 million real estate professionals in the United States alone, it's a very small number of professionals that we're targeting, because we really are being very cautious and deliberate about who we bring into Realm and how we grow. And so every single member is vetted, and so we look at everybody's kind of overall production. We look at their average price range. We look at their marketing prowess. We look at their client relations, and we look at their industry relations. Every single member has an interview over the phone with one of our partners. And then we also look to the membership for recommendations or endorsements as well. So what has happened is it's been this very fraternal group that is it's very protective over who gets into Realm and kind of who's interacting with the platform, and it has created this incredible camaraderie. And the referrals that are flying around are really, it's greater than I could have ever imagined, Michael. And it's something that I think everybody feels a great deal of ownership in and wants to protect, to make sure that integrity remains as we continue to grow and evolve. So we're being very cautious about, kind of who's coming on, and yes, all of it. Exactly. So we've got a waiting list of about 700 people right now that are in some process of the membership, whether that's demonstration or vetting or onboarding. But overall, it's been a real success, and we're so proud.
Well, that's great, and you should be. Like you said, I'm having you on here today because I've seen, if you will, the demo or the back office, and it really truly is. It's awesome. It's a small circle of trust when you get to the high net worth individuals. Again, you don't want to do anything to jeopardize that. And you're an advisor. That's truly what you are at this price point of individual. You're an advisor. And an advisor a lot of times talks them out of a purchase. When I meet that, it's like, hey, Julie, what you told me, you're looking for, something with a view. You're looking for something with the first floor master, and you want a wine room. I know this property that you like checks off some of the boxes that you're interested in, but you've told me these things are the highest priority, and this particular property doesn't. I'm not telling you not to purchase it, but I'm also saying step back, let it digest, sleep on it, pray on it, whatever you need to do. I just don't want you to make a rush emotional decision. That's what an advisor does.
Totally. Well, and that's what, it's interesting, because one of the things that we've done with Realm is it's brand agnostic. And so we don't look at any of the brands that somebody else is affiliated with as one of our members to make any kind of decision. We really look at the overall kind of package of the individual professional. And, Michael, that we all have examples of that, where we've talked people out of making a purchase. And I think that those things, the fact that it is, every single member of Realm is really looking at it from a long game perspective with our various clients, rather than kind of a more transactional broker. That makes a world of difference. And that whole ethos then in your practice and how you come across and what you do, the decisions that you make as a professional every day, that those are things that then create an environment, and they create a real culture amongst the members, and that we've definitely seen that emerge within Realm.
That's terrific. Yeah. And you mentioned the long game. It's, when you're dealing with high net worth individuals, when you're dealing with any clients, you really have to think of the marathon, a long game, not that transaction short game, right? And so many people get in real estate because they watch HGTV, or they had a bad experience and they think they're going to crush it. And it takes time to build those relationships. And so where can people find out more information on Realm?
So the website is www.realm-global.com. And you can inquire there, and you know, we receive those inquiries real time, and we're happy to get back to you, arrange a demonstration, talk more about the membership process. We've got some remarkable strategic partnerships, you know, one of which is with LUXE magazine. So we're feeding content in, and you know, we're customizing that content to then go out to agents' spheres of influence. So there are all sorts of nuances within Realm, and you know, as we continue to kind of build the service offering to the marketplace, we're thrilled to hear from people that have thoughts or ideas or just want to learn more. So so please reach out to us.
Awesome. So that's www.realm, REALM-global.com.
Yes.
Awesome. Hey, you were a great guest, wealth of knowledge. I look forward to continuing to have these conversations with you, and keep raising the bar for real estate. I appreciate everything you're doing.
Thank you, Michael. It's been a pleasure, and I'll look forward to much success for both of us in the future.
Thank you. Thank you. Just a reminder of those of you that are watching a replay, hey, continue to raise the bar for real estate. You know, again, don't look at it as a transaction. Look at it as a lifelong relationship. You're not just selling bricks and mortar, you're selling a lifestyle, but don't be a salesperson. And just a reminder, during this election year, there's still going to be frustration whether your candidate won, your candidate didn't win. Let's figure out what we have in common and raise the bar and treat everybody with kindness and respect, no matter who they voted for. My name is Michael LaFido. Check out replays. You can go to Luxury Lunch and Learn to see replays of others, or on our podcast, go to Luxury Listing Podcast. And for more information on our LUXE designation, go to luxurylistingspecialist.com. Take care.